I'm Alexander Spellane, CEO of Fisher Capital. We have a very special guest, Mr. Roger Stone. Roger, good to see you. It was great hearing you speak tonight. Thanks for being here.
Great to be back with you.
Amazing. So tell us, what do you think is the main thing conservatives can do right now to stop supporting liberal companies and really take their money and start supporting conservative companies?
Well, we need to stop spending money at Amazon. We need to stop spending money at, Yahoo. We need to stop spending money at these multinational or international corporations who hate America. I like a company called Melaleuca, where you can get everything: bath soap, shampoo, toothpaste, shaving
Absolutely.
cream. And there are many good companies like that. So I think people need to find companies who are selling the same products, but in many cases in purer form, less chemicals, less carcinogens, and stop giving their money to the woke left.
Absolutely. It's a big part of my message, how to vote with your wallet. I go into obviously taking people's money out of traditional banking institutions because that's a big amount of money that's just being donated to the far left at this point. And I'd say it's a big part of the message of Fisher Capital. I'm glad you feel the same way. So right now, what do you also see that it's going to take for Americans to put the deep state in check and really fight back right now for ahead of the 2024 election?
Look, this is very simple. Donald Trump is not the same man who was elected in 2016. He's fully awake now. Remember, he wasn't a politician, so he came to Washington, and he initially believed, as Reagan did, that there were two groups, the Republicans and the Democrats. The Republicans would support him, and the Democrats wouldn't.
Right.
He didn't understand that in reality, there's a uniparty, the establishment party, the status quo party, and they're epically corrupt, and they're only interested in preserving their own power and increasing their control on the American people and our finances. Now he fully understands that. He understands that the deep state is not some rhetorical device, but it is a reality.
Yes.
It is unelected bureaucrats in the intelligence agencies, in the Pentagon, in our armed services, in the think tanks, in the defense contractors, and it's a permanent government, and they take down presidents who they can't control.
Yes.
They murdered John F. Kennedy. I've written a New York Times best-selling book on it. They removed Richard Nixon in a bloodless coup. They tried to remove Reagan in the Iran-Contra controversy.
Right.
They failed. And they tried to remove Donald Trump in the phony Russian collusion hoax and in two completely bogus impeachments that we now know were contrived to hide actual crimes by Joe Biden.
Yeah.
So I think the answer is really simple. We need to elect a president who will clean house. Clean house at the FBI, clean house at the CIA, clean house at the Justice Department, clean house in every department of government, and start over again, appointing men and women who are committed to the rule of law and to the U.S. Constitution. It can be done. In fact, I'll go so far to say it will be done.
I'm hopeful. It's one of the reasons I support Turning Point USA. It turns our profits into purpose, and it really shows an overwhelming response. I mean, a lot of people are waking up and they're really fighting back now. And I feel like we're finally starting to get a stronger foothold, and people are recognizing this on both sides. So tying into Fisher Capital, why do you think it's important for conservatives to own gold right now? And how does that empower conservatives today?
I'm a very strong believer in using, in precious metals, both gold and silver. And I have huge confidence in Fisher Capital. Gold is real. Gold, you can hold it in your hand. Gold will always have its value. The government deals in paper. Paper with some vague promise at the back. Gold will always have its value. I think any wise investor is smart to have some substantial portion of their portfolio in precious metals. Now, you'd be more expert than I would on whether it's the right time to buy gold or the right time to buy silver. The markets obviously fluctuate, but I don't think one can ever go wrong owning gold. Robert Mueller took most of my wealth. I still have to pay thousands of dollars up to lawyers because I'm being sued in 11 different totally baseless, totally bogus, totally meritless civil suits. But when I make money again, and I will, I'm going to put it into gold.
You've got a lot of support from us. And I will tell you, it's becoming a challenge for a lot of conservatives to find a foothold and really make money. I see a lot of companies that are conservative being targeted right now. Why do you think regulators are targeting precious metals companies?
Because they know that it is the key to economic freedom. They know that it is the key to independence. They want you to depend on them,
Right.
as opposed to depending on your own investments and your own wealth. Now, the other thing I have to say is not all gold merchants are the same.
That's
A
right.
lot of people selling gold, but not all of them are real. Not all of them are credible or trustworthy, which is why I have such a high regard for Fisher Capital.
Thank you for saying that. I'm curious because I got to wrap up with you, and I know you've got somewhere to be. Tell us, what are you doing in 2024 to help Donald Trump get elected? And what's different this time compared to the 2016 election? What challenges are you facing, and how can we support that?
I think Donald Trump is running a great campaign. He is a much leaner, tighter, more experienced political staff. I have a very high regard for his current management team. I work very closely with them, although I'm a volunteer, because I do a daily podcast show at stonezone.live every day, 5 o'clock Eastern. And I do a radio show for WABC Radio in New York at WABCradio.com on Sundays at 4. And that's a huge amount of work. I had no idea how much work it was. But I'm helping the campaign in a number of areas, including working on election integrity planning to make sure that our next elections are honest, transparent,
Yes.
legal, and on the
Yes.
level. And a lot of work can be done. The sad truth is, although I think there was a record amount of cheating and fraud and anomalies and irregularities in the last election, we were completely unprepared for that. We didn't have lawyers in place. We didn't have a mechanism in place. We didn't have a technology in place.
Absolutely.
And they took us to the cleaners. That will not happen again. We will be prepared to protect our rights to a free, fair election next
Amazing.
time.
And that makes me so happy to hear. So thanks again for coming on. Learn more about Roger Stone. Check out his show. You got an amazing show right now. That's stonezone.com.